Joining me now is Billy Nolen. He is the former FAA administrator in the Biden administration. Billy, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Nice to have you in on this evening. The president there assuring the public that it is safe to fly. Obviously,
Yes.
We think about this incident, the families, the just unspeakable horror that they must be going through.
Yeah.
You have Americans also tonight all across the country questioning the safety of flying. What would you tell them?
Well, I started by saying three things. Number one is to express my sympathy for this really tragic loss. I spent 26 and a half years with American Airlines, so my heart really bleeds for American, for PSA. And we are in that phase of this operation that we went from a response and a recovery in the hopes that there might be survivors. And this has now progressed into a recovery of the victims' bodies. So now that phase, once you get through that phase, and we know today that it was handed off by Mayor Bauer to the National Transportation Safety Board with Chair Hamidi and her team. That team is an exceptional team, one of the best in the world, if not the best, right? So that's number two. So we want to, there's a lot of speculation that we've heard. We're about 18 hours post-accident into this, coming up toward the, 24 hours here, is to let the investigation run its course. And in due time, and I think sooner rather than later, those answers will start to be revealed.
The New York Times is reporting that it was, quote unquote, not normal in the air traffic control center that night. There have been staffing shortages with air traffic controllers for years now, and the Congress has tried to remedy that. If that is indeed the case, why do you think that would have been the case last night, and how big of a failure would it have been in that moment?
I don't have enough information to say that that was the case last night, but what I will tell you, that when you talk to the airlines, when you talk to CEOs, one of the things they want to see is that we've got good staffing there. Certainly is something I worked on during my time as acting FAA administrator, is something I think is something every person who sat in the chairs worked on, right? What the FAA needs is consistent, stable funding that, our national airspace is the most complex in the world, and it continues to expand with new entrants that in some cases will be much safer as we get into new types with advanced air mobility that Secretary Duffy spoke to, right? So we need an FAA, and you've got great people there. We need an FAA that's got the ability and the resources it needs to be able to take America into the next 50 years.
So one of the decisions that the president announced today, Chris Rocheleau, a 22-year veteran, of the FAA, now in charge of the agency. You know him very well. Do you commend the president on that decision?
Absolutely. It's a great decision. Chris, when I joined the FAA, was my number two. I think the world of him, and I think the president has made an excellent choice. I look to see the work that Elon is doing and that Doge is doing. We have an opportunity to think about, use this moment. Let's not let this tragic event go to waste. Let's take this as an opportunity to say, what are the other innovative things we can do? We got some brilliant people out there in America, right? And let's think about what we can apply, be it AI. How do we make our airspace more efficient? How do we make it better so that we don't get in the situation where you're thinking about this?
So in making sure this is a moment that we can do something better, the president has talked about DEI today. As I understand the timing of all of this, back in 2014, the hiring requirement process changed. Then in 2020, there was the Air Traffic Controller Hiring Reform Act that basically flipped it back to what it was. $25 billion for airports and air traffic in the infrastructure bill in 2021. Money for 3,000 new air traffic controllers in 2024, which was signed into law. And then President Trump ends the DEI policies at the FAA in one of the first actions that he does as president. Really, it was government-wide, but of course relates to the FAA. If this is a moment to look at where we can do things better, is the president onto something? Is he right to bring up this issue when it comes to this chess game in the skies and making sure that the best and brightest are in our air traffic control rooms?
What I can tell you is that I've traveled the world, and I'll tell you once again that everyone who has sit in the administrator's chair understands the weight and gravity of the office, understand that America has the most complex airspace anywhere in the world.
Thank you for watching, and make sure you go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below.
to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.